I said a really ridiculous thing. Do you want to know what it was?
Yes.
I said, and this may not be exact, but it's pretty fucking close, that America's First Amendment is the single most Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. You are listening to episode number 42. On this show, we like to talk about comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, and everyone's favorite, but not today, political discourse. Political discourse? Whatever. I'm your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
How are you, Midget Radio?
Doing great. Tactic Angel, how are you?
I am struggling.
We're going to do it. We can do it. I think if we just believe in ourselves, we will get through this.
This Suntory Toki is not going to help. Suntory Toki from Japan. Delicious, smooth, scotchy, but still has a subtle Eastern appeal.
Lovely review. Well, I'm out of the Akashi now, so I'm back on the fucking Bullet Rye.
Bullet!
Harsh, bitter, fuck yourself, but it's a great drink.
Harsh, bitter, fuck yourself. I love it. Name of the episode. No, it probably shouldn't be. Nobody will listen to it because they won't know what it's about.
That's true.
We're actually going to be talking about one thing today.
Yeah.
And it is Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
So Jean-Claude Camille Francois Van Varenberg, better known as Jean-Claude Van Damme, is, and probably forever shall be known as a B-list action star from the 80s. The golden age of the action movie.
I'm sorry. Can we please insert the word fantastic B-list action star? I just want to make that amendment. That's
He is the cream of the B-list action star.
Thank you.
That said, he is also a man who has a gift. Perhaps several gifts, and he shares all of them with the Amazon.com original series Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Van Damme plays himself if he was a super secret spy performing secret missions while also filming on location in varied locations around the world, which probably roughly follow the real life career path of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, this is a
Midget
documentary.
Radio. Yes, it is a documentary. What do you think of this Amazon.com original documentary, Jean-Claude Van Johnson?
I will be the first to admit that I probably can't review this with any kind of clear, critical lens. I fucking love it, though. I love it. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I love this fucking show. And I can't wait for season 2. So there you go.
Okay. The only reason why you are the first person to say that is because I always ask you your opinion first.
That's true.
I thought that this show was a complete disaster that is from start to finish completely amazing to watch, and I loved it.
Oh God, are we bothering with the spoiler tag? Like, are we doing general and then stars and then
yes,
spoilers?
We're gonna do general and stars and
bitch.
spoilers.
All right. All right, well, fine. Without even any fucking spoilers, I'm going to finally commit to the thing that I feel like I've been sort of half-assedly arguing over the past couple of years. And that is that Jean-Claude Van Damme is a fucking legit actor. He is absolutely charismatic on screen. He has fucking range. And I think he could go toe-to-toe with any other legit actor in the industry. He is more than the fucking splits, and he's more than kicking people in the face.
You are selling a load of goods there, sir. I'm not going to completely disagree. I don't know that he can go with anyone toe to toe. Certainly Kevin Spacey before he became no one.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know who that is, so.
Right? Probably was a better actor. Liam Neeson, I don't think is disgraced yet.
Not yet.
But I don't think he's on that level, but he does show a remarkable range with this, and he shows what I really love about people like William Shatner, who is naturally a love of both you and me for being James T. Kirk. I actually, at one point, I don't remember why, but I had to watch Miss Congeniality in the theaters. And
well, that's I mean, that seems like an interesting story, but okay.
Shocking and embarrassing, I'm sure. But he's in that, and he is such a ham, and it's delightful. And Jean-Claude Van Damme in Jean-Claude Van Johnson really does capture all the best things about sort of self-effacing humor.
Yeah.
And he actually does a wide variety of emotions and ridiculous impersonations.
He's absolutely fantastic in this series. In fact, while I was watching this, I think at this point we should replace like the old Greek comedy tragedy fucking masks with just Jean-Claude Van Damme's fucking face. Because there is not a sourpuss that is more sourpuss than fucking Van Damme's face riding a bicycle. Not to spoil anything through. Or I think it was actually a fucking Segway through his hometown. I mean, my God. It's just, he looks like both the saddest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life and the happiest son of a bitch in the world.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dick around with this too long. Midget Radio, if you were to give this 1 to 5 stars based on the old Netflix before they completely fucked up their rating system, what would you give it? Actually, I think Amazon, you can still give it 1 to 5 stars. This is on Amazon.com.
Amazon, wow,
you should
Amazon.
watch it on Amazon.com.
You should. Fuck Netflix. 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars.
I can agree with that.
Awesome.
Jean-Claude Van Johnson, 4.5 stars. From both Midget Radio and Tactic Angel,
Fantastic.
Which I think would make it the highest reviewed thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it probably is.
And there's no reason for that because it's definitely not the best thing we've seen.
But it is just incredibly satisfying.
It is start to finish. We're going to put up the spoiler tag here.
Yes.
As I say that, there were probably 3, 4, 5 times. I don't laugh a lot because I don't think that comedy is appropriate ever.
Right.
But there were several times that I laughed in this show until it hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need to call out in particular the opening scene of episode 3 of this series. I started to cry a little bit, and that's fairly rare that something makes me laugh that hard. But it was it's when he's in the bar, right, as that like janitor sort of alter ego that we saw in episode 1, and he's telling the fucking story to that other guy and that other fucking barfly in the scene. He's like, the guy asks him what's got him down. And so he starts telling, well, I was visited by an alternate version of myself from the future. He told me that Looper was a better movie than Time Cop, even though Time Cop is my favorite movie. He sprained my neck, blew up the building, and killed all of my friends.
Oh
I'm sorry about your shoelace.
I'm sorry about your shoelace.
I mean, his, like, that speech alone, that's just that speech on the page by itself is fucking glorious. What Van Damme does as far as delivery takes it into another fucking realm entirely. Absolutely goddamn amazing scene of that show. Completely set the tone for me, and I just fell apart. I just fucking fell apart at the end of it. It was amazing.
I did not cry, but later in that same episode, my favorite line is spoken, and it is, "Why would the greatest actor in the world want to kill all of my friends?"
Yes.
And like, when I heard that, I was like, holy shit, this is too stupid.
It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So tell me what you think about this. Because this show's sense of humor is fairly fucking bizarre. I feel like that's a reasonable assessment to make.
Yes.
Did you feel like, because I actually started, so I think you watched all of The Tick. I don't remember if we remembered all or if we reviewed all.
We did.
Okay, all right. So I thought like there were actually some similarities in kind of just the overall tone and sense of humor between both of these shows, and it was weird. It was sort of like casually absurd, but at the same time, there are some like kind of odd dramatic moments in it. There's some weird like tonal imbalance, and it just felt kind of similar to me. Did you get that same sense at all?
I didn't, because I felt like the Tick was much more haphazard and like a drunken Wednesday night gentleman stumbling through the empty streets of a town at the end of an episode.
Okay.
That felt more like the Tick. And with Jean-Claude Van Johnson, I feel definitely that there was more of an intentionality to making it as just stupid as it really was.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird though, like the almost kind of like the strangely saccharine moments in Jean-Claude Van Johnson are kind of what struck me the most. Like right at the end of the series where he visits himself as a child, like in his own memory. I can't even remember why the fuck that happened, but like that the kid whispers something to him and it's that "I love you," you know, like his own ability to love himself, like just a weirdly saccharine dramatic moment for him to realize that he can love himself, you know, the thing that's been eluding him for the entire series and I guess his entire life. Just an oddly dramatic and kind of sappy moment for a show that also contains the line, well, why would you build a weather control device? Well, to take over the fucking world. Yeah, I mean, like, there's an odd juxtaposition in these two.
And immediately you're like, well, if I was a guy in like the panhandle of Oklahoma, I'd probably build a weather device to make sure that it rained at least occasionally.
Sure. But in the back of your mind,
it's to control the world.
Like to control the world, yeah.
But no, I get it, because like even the first episode, which I actually think is probably still the best episode of the season, though.
Okay, yeah.
Though, I mean, like,
yeah.
the second episode with the blind
oh my
street
God.
race.
What the fuck?
And then he takes the blindfold off and he can't drive for shit.
He's so shit at it. Yeah.
But like, there's so many just completely ridiculous funny things about it. But the first episode, he goes through such a vast range of emotions.
Yes.
Because he starts out, he's completely nihilistic, despondent.
Yep.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
He sees what is it, Vanessa?
Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah.
And then he's like hopeful. He wants to reconnect. He can rebuild this relationship. Things are starting to come together. He's gonna meet her at the end, and then he just gets the fuck beaten out of him. Yeah. And it's just a funny scene when even when he's getting the fuck beaten out of him. He reaches up and he strokes the guy's face, and it's just so stupid. It's just funny.
It is.
And you have to love Jean-Claude Van Damme for doing this, because
oh God, yes, yeah,
he was always kind of second rate.
Yeah,
absolutely. He was always behind people like, Sylvester Stallone,
yes,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
They even made fun of him when he was in character, kind of when Jackie Chan hosted SNL. Yeah. They had the little mousy fella come out, and he's like, perhaps you've seen my latest film, Legionnaire. And he looked out at the audience and nobody said anything, which was obvious because nobody's ever seen Legionnaire.
No. It also a film, I think, on Amazon Prime right now, just for those of us, I believe it is actually watchable right now, but yeah.
I kind of feel like most of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies are watchable.
So as someone who has actually looked into that, surprisingly, not enough of his films are available for streaming, but at least on Amazon Prime or Netflix or anything like that. But
Time Cop is absolutely necessary, which is understanding.
Absolutely. If you have not seen Time Cop, do yourself a fucking favor.
This is a fucking weird show because it's like almost a Time Cop fan fiction.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. Yeah, especially at the end of the series. Yeah.
No, everything. First episode. Perhaps you've seen it.
Yeah.
Time Cop, starring. Wait, no, it's like Looper, starring Bruce Willis. Only 1,000,000 times better.
It is 1,000,000 times better.
It is 1,000,000 times better.
It really is.
And then he asks Philippe.
Philippe, that's right. That's his name. Yeah.
Who do you think is better? Do we really think the Time Cop is better than Looper? Or whatever he says. He's like, yes. False.
I mean, his delivery, like, it's just amazing. He is a fantastic fucking performer, and I'm not basing that assessment on just JCVJ at this point. It's the movies that he's done, the fucking direct to DVD bullshit fucking movies that never saw a theater, that he has done, since his heyday, where he's fucking broadened his range a little bit here and there. I think he's like seriously gotten really comfortable in front of the fucking camera at this point. I think he's picked up a lot after what is now decades of experience doing this kind of work, acting in front of a fucking camera. And I think he's got some legit skill now. And it's absolutely amazing to see. It's so rewarding. He's not just a B movie action, or he's not just a B action movie joke. He's got a fucking craft behind him, I think now.
If you were to watch this series from beginning to end, I don't think you would come away with that Jean-Claude Van Damme is a hack.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
I think he does a pretty good job. I love the self-effacing humor. I hope to God, if this was a reality, I would travel to Brussels in a moment. That statue.
Oh my God, yes.
I would fucking go there.
Yes.
And have 1 million pictures taken of myself with it.
Yes.
And that scene is great.
Yep.
The scene before it's great.
Yep.
The scene after it is great.
Yep.
It's
Can you imagine? There was almost a part of me that was a little pissed off at that scene. Like, these two fucking dumbass airhead pieces of shit don't know that they're talking to Jean-Claude fucking Van Damme cleaning his own statue, which is enormously depressing. But I mean, but Jesus
you bitches
Christ.
aren't on anymore.
If I saw that, Jesus Christ, like if I came across Jean-Claude Van Damme cleaning his own statue, holy shit. Like,
I wouldn't say a word. I would help him.
absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. That is a national goddamn treasure.
The muscles from Brussels.
Fuck yeah, he is.
I just like to look him in the eye and shake his hand.
Absolutely. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
This is another weird episode.
It is a weird episode. It's hard because I mean, Van Damme is a goddamn childhood hero for me, for sure. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was watching his movies. Good Lord, probably way before I should have been allowed to. But I mean, I love that dude, and I couldn't be happier for him to see him kind of expand and I think kind of master his craft, and to see him, I don't know, just to see him blossom a little bit and expand into these into humor and into shows like this. It's rewarding to see him, because I see a show like this as a celebration of Jean-Claude Van Damme, of his career, and of what he has been, and of what he has meant to, idiots like me, who've looked up to him as kind of a hero, and to see him kind of be able to have a sense of humor about the stuff that he's done, and to still be but at the same time to demonstrate a very real competency with respect to the art of acting. It's cool to see. It's really exciting. It's something, if it was Steven Seagal, shit, that was another fucking childhood action hero who went in a completely goddamn different direction.
He went in the Dunkin' Donuts.
He did. So Van Damme, I think he's the best person in the world. It's as ridiculous as that is to say.
I get it. I completely love this series. I completely love sort of the humility that it would naturally take for you to make this series.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so fun.
It's
absolutely everything that people who loved the old action movie genre were always into. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
As much as you can look at like the pinnacles of that genre, like Terminator 2,
right,
or Die Hard. It's action and it's fun.
Yeah.
Certainly Jean-Claude Van Damme had plenty of things. I mean, everybody's seen Bloodsport.
Oh God.
It's actually a joke in this movie.
Yeah.
But everybody's seen Bloodsport. Bloodsport's great.
Yeah.
Time Cop is a little bit of a wonky film, but it's a completely fun film.
And it is absolutely, legitimately better than fucking Looper. But yeah.
I believe by exactly 1 million times.
Yeah.
There are not enough nice things to say about this show. The only The only thing that I would criticize it about is that it is only like 6 or 7 episodes long.
Yeah. Strangely, like I thought in the first episode, oh God, what's Vanessa? I really wasn't like, I didn't really care. I didn't care about that relationship. It didn't really add much of anything to me, and Vanessa as a character wasn't particularly interesting. I actually kind of appreciated that they gave her a little bit. They developed her a little bit in this show.
They gave her a little bit of an arc. Yeah,
they did, and I think that actress delivered a pretty solid performance in this show. And I actually do, like, I'm surprised. I actually do kind of like care about it a lot more now. She's added to, I think the what is the overwhelming presence of Jean-Claude Van Damme in this show. So definitely I do want to give her props for that. For somebody who felt kind of ancillary in the first episode, has, I think, kind of come into her own by episode 6.
I agree, but I didn't have as much of an issue with her before. I think yours was she was a little bit too young.
She was a little too young. Yeah, and that's all. And she was just the love interest in that first episode. So it's like, it just feels a little bit, she just feels a little bit like a tool in that first episode. Now 6 episodes in, now I'm kind of coming around. She feels like a fucking person, which is great.
Yeah. And I think, basically everybody did a good job. I don't know how they're going to, if they actually do follow through on a season 2, and it's some weird ass
time travel
future
right
warfare or something. Sure, whatever.
Yeah. I'm absolutely going to go along for that ride. I'm ready. Like,
yeah, whatever.
So the makeup artist, right? What I can't remember that character's name.
Luis.
Okay, Luis. So episode 2, right? He makes so Jean-Claude Van Damme wants to approach like the head honcho of the fucking I
want to buy drugs.
Right, he wants to buy drugs. So Luis makes that guard see what? See like a bunch of how? What the fuck is any of that? Right? That was completely out of left field and then absolutely utterly ignored for the remaining 6 episodes. None of that was addressed. Am I alone on that, or like that just struck me as kind of weirdly bizarre?
I think they're trying to give you kind of just a general sense that he is more than he seems.
He is like mystical.
Yes. Well, like by the end of it, he is.
Yeah.
He's like this crazy ninja assassin.
He fucking splits that. He extracts the intestines of that one dude via plastic knife, right? Plastic butter knife, I think.
Yes.
What the shit? And it's never a drug. It's just, that's what happens. So, moving on.
These people are dead.
It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. It is, and I guess that's the thing. That's maybe the similarity I saw between this and the Tick, where the tonal shifts are somewhat radical in nature, and it's kind of hard to it almost makes it a little bit hard to follow along, and I don't know, it's a strange sense of humor, I think.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, when he fought Manny Manu or Manny, but anyway, the stone-fisted guy, I was like,
the fucking Marvel, yeah. What the shit?
The series is like, I was at the point where I was like, I don't know about this.
Right.
And then like, it was strange because I came back, and by the time it's like the very, very end, and it's like, Jean-Claude, we need you to come to the future to fight the whatever fuck. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Just simply yes.
Yeah. I'm into it. I'm into it. Doesn't he like roundhouse kick a piece of the marble from
Yes, into somebody's forehead? Yes.
I mean, I don't know, listener, if you can tell just based on what we're talking about right now that this is absolutely a show worth watching. But it is absolutely a show worth watching.
Probably. Either that or like you are in the wrong place.
Right. You are clearly racist against Belgians if you do not love JCVJ. So
Oh man. Probably.
yeah.
Today's day. It's hard to say. Just what a fantastic
Yeah.
TV show.
Absolutely. It's actually kind of like it's reinvigorated a little bit my interest in some of Van Damme's like stupid fucking direct to DVD or direct to streaming releases. Cause I do like it's interesting. Just I don't know, maybe it's just for me, but it's interesting to see him develop as an actor. I still want the fucking action movie, the martial arts element in there, but it's fun to see him branch out and to have some fun, and I'm curious to see what other movies he has kind of done this in. You know, like we watched Jesus, this was years ago, but there was a movie he was in called Enemies Closer, which was a piece of shit movie, but he was like the villain in that film, which is fairly uncommon for him as an actor, and he was great. He clearly he leaned into being kind of a psychotic bad guy in that film, and as you know, as mediocre as that movie was, it was still kind of an interesting performance to see from him. And I don't know, I'd like to see him. It's just cool to see him kind of branch out like that. So
no, I agree, and like I would probably move to like the polar opposite of that, where he was in Welcome to the Jungle, and he played a completely ridiculous joke of a camp counselor character, and it was just I loved it. I loved it.
Also, really not a very good movie, but I mean a pretty goddamn great performance from JCVD. Like,
I mean, it was exactly what the performance required.
Absolutely.
He was funny. He was ridiculous,
and
it was great.
Yeah.
No, I agree, because like I've noticed the several things that have popped up on my not Netflix, but this is not Netflix. This is Amazon. Amazon.
Yes.
As in the people who make Alexa.
Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for making JCVJ, apparently.
The thing that never understands anything that you ask.
That's true.
But Amazon. So I'm on Amazon, and it's like, would you like to watch Jean-Claude Van Damme movies? And you're like, well, yes.
Yeah.
I would not have previously thought this was the answer, but as it turns out, yes, I would. I would like to watch Time Cop again.
Hell yes.
I would. But I'll have to tweet this at him with the tweeter. With the tweeter.
Log into that tweeter. Yeah.
Dear Jean-Claude Van Johnson, damn. Von Fahrenberg. Whoever you are, we love you.
Yep. Keep it up, brother. Like,
yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this TV show. Ridiculous from start to finish.
Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Yeah.
But just a great performance taken by itself, and like you said, I think also over the last 20 or 30 years, he has definitely grown as an actor.
Yeah.
He probably won't ever get kind of the love that he deserves from our point of view.
I agree.
But I do hope that Jeff Bezos continues to give him money,
Yes.
however much money that is.
He deserves it.
Because I deeply enjoyed this TV show.
Yeah, absolutely. Season 2, all the way.
Oh man, what a positive episode!
I know. And not to derail it too much, but it's like, you see what Van Damme has accomplished, right? Like he's a martial arts guy first. That's how he got his start in the film industry. And then you look at someone like Gina Carano and you're like, lady, if you just keep making fucking movies, if you just keep fucking doing it, right? That's what it is. Just keep doing it. Just stay in front of that fucking camera. You will hone that craft. You have absolutely the potential to develop that kind of screen presence that Van Damme has developed over fucking decades of his career. Could turn in something pretty amazing. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, Bloodsport wasn't exactly Jean-Claude Van Damme's first movie.
Bloodsport, I think wasn't it actually his first film? Bloodsport.
No, it was.
And then, I know he did like No Retreat, No Surrender.
That was before.
Let's see here. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you got to keep fucking doing the work. You got to stay in front of the camera. You got to keep fucking
put in
doing
the time.
It. Yeah, exactly. And that's where the experience, right? Acting with other fucking actors, other more legit like character actors, the kind of people that show up in fucking action movies. You pick up a few things. You get more comfortable in front of the camera. That experience, informs a lot of the craft, I think. And I think that's what he's benefited from.
I think that you're right with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but like there's so many good things that you can do to a person in editing. That's true.
Yeah, that is like, true.
If I were to look back at The Hunter, you could make me into not an abysmal actor. And viewer, I will remind you, however, that I was not given any indication that I would have a speaking part in this movie until the night before.
That's ridiculous. It was made apparent to you a number of times. You just ignored it, and then...
No, this is not true. Because I was like, oh shit, I have a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And then people are like, you have to say these. And it's like, I don't remember them. Tell me them right now. Action! Line!
What a great film.
What came after those first three words? I forget. Thank God we weren't shooting on film.
That is true.
Because that would have been expensive.
Yeah.
But like, you can cut that together and it's like not completely garbage.
Yeah.
Like between, what is it, like 70 or 80 takes? I give it like a really good performance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Really good.
Absolutely.
I'm such a fucking great person.
That is the point of this episode. So
Jean-Claude Van Damme is a great person though.
He really is. I love him so much. And I'm excited that he's continuing to make movies. I think his most recent is a film called Kill 'Em All, which I would like to watch. And then he's got an upcoming film with Dolph Lundgren called Blackwater, I think, that I'm very excited to see. So, you know, this is a great show. This is good exposure, I think, more into at least more exposure for him kind of re-entering maybe a little bit the more mainstream media. So, you know, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for him. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope for all of us that we get more JCVJ. This was a great season 1. If not, I mean, it's very fun standalone, and I extremely urge people to go see it.
Definitely.
Though, really, at this point, they already ought to have seen it since we put up the spoiler tag.
I hope so.
Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely worth watching. Even if you're not, I guess, a massive fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme fan and you don't get references necessarily to Universal Soldier and Nowhere to Run and other of his just golden repertoire.
What a great scene. Which is episode 2, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Also starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, or perhaps whatever, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Your evil bidding, like Universal Soldier. Just amazing, yeah. Just fun as hell. But yeah. But and also, I mean, so independent of Van Damme, just a show with I feel a very distinct sense of humor. Something I can't say that I've really seen before. I don't I wouldn't know what to fucking compare this show to, I guess.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say because I think at a certain point it is insider humor. Because
it is, yeah. There is absolutely an element of that, yeah.
I recently started watching Ghosted, which has, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And
Adam Scott and the dude from The Office and a couple of Craig something. I can't remember his last name. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I only saw the first episode and I was like, that's fine. But
I watched 3 or 4 episodes. It's awful.
Okay.
And it's weird because you're like, both of those guys are so funny. But it just...
Yeah, Adam Scott I fucking love.
For whatever reason, they you mash them together and it just doesn't work. It's like oil and water and it's whatever.
Huh.
I've had a hard time. I've seen 3 or 4 episodes of it at this point, and it's just not doing anything for me. And I mean, I love The Office. I love Community.
Yeah.
And I love The X-Files, and you mash them all together, and it's just well, this tastes like a shit sandwich.
Huh. Well, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
That's sad.
Well, I don't know. What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah.
Just keep watching Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Fuck yeah. Give it 5 stars or whatever goddamn Amazon needs to convince it
4.5.
to make a season 2. Yeah.
4 and
what do you gotta do? I don't care. I don't have any integrity. I'll give it 5 stars. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think you can give it 4.5.
I don't think you can either. Probably can't.
I think you have to give it the full 5.
Amazon isn't really prepared for our kind of nuance with respect to reviewing content.
Well, that's because they're run by a fucking socialist. Anyway,
that's probably true.
That has been episode number 42 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video, or subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more of this nonsense. You can also find us on Twitter at WNG_MMA_OBC. And you can head on over to our Facebook, where we are simply the Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We're going to have an extra special thing next week where we actually talk about a book instead of all this other nonsense. Books? With words?
Word reading. Ridiculous.
So yes, we'll see you on the next ridiculous episode of the Wednesday Night Gentleman Multimedia Empire official podcast.